Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Curb Your Enthusiasm will end with Season 12. Season 12 premieres on HBO Max, whatever we're calling it, February 4th at 10 p.m. It's a 10-episode season that will conclude with a series finale on April 7th. Larry David said, as Curb comes to an end, I will now have the opportunity to finally shed this Larry David persona and become the person God intended me to be, the thoughtful, kind, caring, considerate human being I was, until I got derailed by portraying this malignant character. And so, Larry David, I bid you farewell. Your misanthropy will not be missed. And for those of you who would like to get in touch with me, you can reach me at Doctors Without Borders. Curb has been around for 24 years. We'll get 12 seasons total. By the late aughts, the show was starting to do every other year. Then it took a break from 2011 to 2017. When it returned, it was back again in 2020 and 2021. Expected to appear Tracy Ullman, Jeff Garlin, Susie Essman, Cheryl Hines, J.B. Smoove, Richard Lewis, Ted Danson, and Vince Vaughn. Apparently, at the end of season 11, there was an alternate ending. In the alternate ending, which did not air, Larry died, but apparently Larry David was not ready for Larry David to pass away. So we'll get season 12. Looking forward to that. Weird one involving Jerry Seinfeld. Fox News tells us pro-Palestinian protesters marching through downtown Syracuse last week gathered outside the Landmark Theater to protest Jerry Seinfeld's stand-up show, accusing Jerry of being, quote, complicit in genocide. According to the Daily Orange, which is the student newspaper for Syracuse University, as people entered Landmark Theater for Seinfeld's show, protesters stood outside. Police placed themselves between the two groups, forming a pathway for those looking to get inside the building, while protesters chanted that Seinfeld was complicit in genocide. Apparently, the logic there is that Jerry and some others had signed an open letter to the Writers Guild of America condemning that union for being the, quote, only major Hollywood union, unquote, to not provide a statement on the Hamas attacks. In happier Jerry news, he was in Springfield recently, and he stopped by family-owned Panjaba Tatka restaurant. They specialize in North Indian food. The restaurateur shared a photo of staff members smiling with Jerry. They captioned it, "Look who stopped by for lunch. No soup for you." Tiffany Haddish has been charged for driving under the influence. You may recall she had fallen asleep behind the wheel of her car in Beverly Hills. According to court records, L.A. prosecutors charged Tiffany with 2 misdemeanors. Her arraignment set this week, December 22nd. Page 6 says Tiffany was recently a last-minute no-show. She was scheduled to perform on Wednesday at the Ice House in Pasadena alongside several other comics. Those at the show say that after almost 2 hours of sets, the host came out and said Tiffany, quote, would not be performing tonight. A show attendee says, he said she couldn't make it. That was after 5 acts had already performed and only 2 comedians were left. The eyewitness says they could feel the air leave the room when everybody gasped with anger, disappointment. Everybody was looking at each other like, is this part of the bit or is he serious? An insider tells Page 6, Tiffany likes to drink and have a good time, but her friends are noticing that she's drinking way more around the holidays. We think she may be lonely and hiding behind a fake smile. Page 6 adds, however, Tiffany was recently at Paris Hilton's holiday party, and a spy said Haddish was, quote, very sober and, quote, not drinking at all. The unraveling of Matt Rife continues. Back in 2018, Rife decided he would pick on a kid known as the Walmart Yodeling Kid. If you don't remember who that is, I didn't either. A 12-year-old who had gained internet fame after singing Lovesick Blues by Hank Williams at a Walmart store. The then 22-year-old Matt Rife tweeted at the 12-year-old and wrote, F's on your forehead, some gum? So if you look at the photo, you can see some skin raised on the boy's forehead. The then 12-year-old wrote back, it's a birthmark. Not all of us are perfect. Matt Rife then backpedaled. He wrote back, you are perfect, bro. Was genuinely curious. LOL. I've got your new single on repeat, little man. Keep doing big things. Uh-huh. Sure, Matt. That's what you meant. Steph Tolev told the Toronto Star she had a hard time breaking in the late aughts and early 2010s at the alternative club Comedy Bar. She said, they treated me like dog poo. One comedy club owner criticized me for wearing jean shorts on stage, even though I killed. It was 40 degrees out and I was biking everywhere because I didn't have the money to take the subway. He told me I looked like I'd been cleaning my house all day. She looked back at her days as a middle act and said, I'd be stuck in Ottawa with these gross old male comics who'd say things like, come for a drink, sweetheart, at 2 a.m. It was disgusting. Then when I asked if I could headline, the club owner laughed and told me I wasn't a headliner. When she started performing at the LA Comedy Store, Steph said, "When I started performing there, I did an Instagram post. I wanted to thank those 2 Toronto comedy club owners because if they hadn't told me I was crap, I probably wouldn't have worked so hard. Am I petty? Yeah. Did that make me work harder? Sure." The gang from Letterkenny, they're doing a stand-up comedy tour featuring comedians from the show, the final season coming up Christmas, I think. Headlined by the always hilarious Mark Ford, who plays Coach. The show also features stand-up sets by Jeff McInerney, who plays Alexander, and Letterkenny writer Allie Pierce. Tickets are on sale at letterkenny.tv/live. Sketchfest San Francisco's added a few things. A screening of the IFC feature film Destroy All Neighbors, a twisted splatter comedy about a deranged journey of self-discovery full of goopy practical effects. Jonah Ray involved with that one. There'll be a live performance of the new D&D adventure streaming TV show Faster Purple Worm Kill Kill. Also coming back, festival favorite Upright Citizens Brigade Ass Cat, a great show if you've never seen it. And you can solve a crossword puzzle live at The Crossword Show with Zach Sherwin. I spent a lot of time yesterday sharing a wonderful article in Inside Hook titled, "Is Social Media Killing Stand-Up Comedy?" Sam Morril started talking about Instagram. He says Insta is penalizing users who post edgy jokes about sensitive topics by pushing them further down in people's feeds. That has led to comedians bleeping out or dropping curse words from the audio and censoring their own captions. Sam said, that can influence maybe the way a comedian writes because they want their jokes to be seen. It's very tricky because we've been blessed to be able to circumvent the industry, but at the same time, now these companies like Instagram, all they care about is ad sales, and they have an easier time making money if they have clean comedy clips. Yeah, that's why I keep this show clean, for that very reason. Actually, no, there's 2 reasons. One, the advertisers, and it's not like the advertisers told me not to curse, but I just know from doing this for 30 years, if you work clean, you're not going to scare anybody off. The other thing is if a podcast is explicit, it doesn't run on Apple Podcasts in India, and India has a very large English-speaking population. So that's why I use words like stuff. Sam says he remembers a time not long ago when a lot of comics would break on Instagram with the most provocative stuff ever. Inside Hook says the new algorithm may be perfect for a comedian like Tony Deo, who might strategically inject a curse word into a set here or there, but generally works clean. One of his jokes, whoever invented the phrase slept like a baby, they didn't have a baby. I don't think they've ever seen a baby. I think that phrase should be slept like an adult that doesn't have a baby. That video has nearly 125,000 likes on Instagram, but he credits the moms on the platform for giving his following a big boost. Swarms of them lip-synced and acted out his bit while cradling their own kids, hashtagging their videos with phrases like hashtag sleep deprived. Deo says he's also learned of joke thieves who lifted his material from the internet and incorporated it into their own sets. All right, now that he said that, that whole sleep like a baby thing, I'm not sure that was the most original premise there. I feel like I've heard that before. Anyway, he said, I would still prefer not to have to do this, even though it's helped me out. I sort of wonder, the amount of effort that I've put into it the last year and a half didn't translate into all that much extra revenue. I still feel like I'd rather just write jokes and tell jokes, and that's all I ever want to do, and everything else is kind of getting in the way of me doing that at a higher level. Sam said, it's hard enough for me even to find the time to approve clips. I'm so busy. Comedian Tom Ryan said, that's the new game. The key is throw content out there. You never know what's going to connect. Max Fine said the recent release of his comedy album provided him with the opportunity to put material on Instagram. Recording all that material meant I wasn't going to be able to use it again on stage. My whole hesitation with putting something has always been if I post a joke and then 2 months later I find a way to make it another minute longer with more tags to it, I don't want the original joke being public because it's already going to spoil whatever's coming next. Graham Kay mourns the loss of industry gatekeepers who were excellent judges of talent. He says of today's stand-up world, nobody cares if you're good at live stand-up. The only way we could break out is by getting noticed on social media. What that means, though, is also no more quality control as to what gets big. Fantastic stuff from Inside Hook. I've shared this article in the Facebook group, which is Daily Comedy News Podcast group. I'm going to hold on to more of this and do more of this tomorrow. It's really good stuff. If you like the show, you can support the show by going to buymeacoffee.com/dailycomedynews or tell a friend about it. They might like the show too. Meet you back here tomorrow.